Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, today we're going to learn a new topic for STA 333 statistical software. We're going to learn how to do a subsetting data. Right. In this section, we will show how to select specific element of an object by index or logical condition, right? The second one is to rename the column of the data frame. And number 3, we will do a subset row and subset column of the data frame. And number 4, our objective is to add and remove new column to a data frame. And number 6 and number 7 is to order the column of the data frame and to order the row of a data frame. Right. So make sure you have your computer on with R Studio. Right. So the first one, we're going to look at how to select specific elements using an index. So in previous lecture, we already looked at how to do a subsetting using index. We're going to repeat this one, right, by using data frame. So often we want to look at a subset of the data set at any given time, right? So sometimes you have you download a data set. So that data set usually not a very clean data set. So you need to subset, select some elements, select some variables for you to start with the analysis. So for starts, the element of an R element using bracket, right? So we will do select subset data, means we're going to select variables using a bracket. So for example, right, let's say we have x equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we have 10 observation in x, right? So we want to select a second element in x, selecting second element in x. So we do x bracket 2. So we're going to select the second element in x, right? So if you want to select the fifth element, selecting fifth element in x, so we do x bracket 5. So we're going to select the fifth element in x, right? So if we want to select both second and fifth element in x, selecting second and fifth element in x, so we can combine the second and fifth element, fifth place in x by using C, second and 5. So we're going to select the second place and the fifth place of the element in x, right? Let's revise another thing, right? If you want to select specific element using logical operator, still remember logical operator, equal, equal, less than, equal, more than or equal, right? Let's say we want to select element that have more than 2 and less than 5. So we do x bracket, so x more than 2, and we put an n symbol, x less than 5. So I will find the element that more than 2 and less than 5 using a logical operator. Right, another way, let's say we want to select selecting x more than 5 or x equal to 2. So means we do x bracket x more than 5, put the or symbol, or means the straight line to x equal 2. So x will R will select x more than 5, which is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and equal to 2, right? So now let's look at how to select element using a data frame. So let's say we use a data set selecting in data frame. So let's look at the data empty cars, right? So empty cars, we have this is a data set empty car, right? In empty car, we have 32 observation and 11 variables, right? So if you want to select column number 2, right? So we put empty cars, column number 2. So R will select column number 2, means a variable number 2. Same concept, we use bracket, right? So if you want to select empty column number 2 and column number 5, means variable number 2 and variable number 5, we use the same concept, empty car C 2 and 5. So R will select variable number 2 and variable number 5. Right. So this is selecting variable right. Are you okay at this time? We just do some refreshment. Huh? Right. Next, we will look at how to rename. Right. Second, renaming variable column in data frame. Right. So to rename the column in data frame, let's say we store, I just don't want to disturb empty cars. I store empty cars into another name, empty cars, which is df, right? So storing into another name, right? Because empty car is a ready-made data set in R. So if we do some manipulation in empty car, then it will disturb the empty car data set in your computer. So now, let's look at the variable names in df. So we have basically mpg, cyl, disp, hp, and so on lah. We have basically 11 variable. So if you want to know what is the meaning of mpg, what is the meaning of cyl, we can just type question mark empty cars. So it will appear the description of the data set, right? So this is empty car data set from a data set library. It's a motor trend car road test. So this description is the data was extracted from a 1974 Motor Trend US magazine. So MPG stand for miles per gallon. CYL is number of cylinder. Right, number of cylinder should be a categorical variable lah. Right. So then we have CARB, means number of carburetor, until 11 variable lah. So this is description of the data set, right? So let's say I want to rename column number 1, which is MPG, CYL, and this DISP, which is displacement, right, to a capital letter. So now we have a small letter case, right? MPG, CYL, and DISP, and a small letter case. Let's say I want to rename into to the uppercase, or you want to rename to others name. We can use rename first three variable. Right. So let's say I want to rename the variable number first number 1 MPG MPG to, let's say, to capital letter MPG. Another one is CYL to capital letter CYL, and last one is displacement to DISP. Right. So I'm going to use call name, right, and call the variable data set df, which is we already converted to another name, right? I'm using the bracket, right, which is indexing 1 to 3. So means that I want to change the name of first variable, second variable, and third variable for data set df, right? So just change the new name. So mpg, another one is cyl, and the last one is disp, right? So if you call the names of df again, right, so you can see that the variable name is already changed according to your situation lah, right? So you can do a reset again. Let's say I copy this one. Reset means I want to change it to the default name, cyl disp, right? So another way to rename the variable is by using call name, right? Let's say I set cn as a column names of df, right? We're going to use cn when you want to change the column name, right? This is to call variable name into cn, right? Column names. So let's say I use cn. This is a short way lah. So cn equal to drat, means I'm going to change the variable drat, drat, to capital letter drat. So if you call the column names of df, so we can first we need to change this one first. Call names df. Since we setting the call name into cn, so we need to give instruction to R to read column name of the df ni as in cn, right? So if you call names df, so now you can see the column name for drat is already changed, right? Okay. So another way to rename. So I'm giving you three ways to rename the variables. First is by using column names. And second is by setting column name to CN and put it into the data set. Another way is by using library dplyr. If you don't have the dplyr library, you need to install it first, right? You need to install the library dplyr. Install package dplyr, right? So if you don't have, if you already have it into your computer, then just load it in using library dplyr, right? So in dplyr library, we have a function called as rename. So let's say I'm using rename. So rename, I'm going to rename our dataset df, right? The first rename is I want to change MPG to capital letter. If you still remember, the names in df is the first name for the first variable is small letter MPG, right? So I want to change MPG to capital letter, right? So the first argument is your variable that you change. The first is MPG, right? Equal to MPG. So this is the second one is the existing one lah. This is the target that you want to rename. So I store this argument to the df again. So this is a rename, rename, right? So to rename variable mpg, right? So if you look at the names of df, so we can see mpg already changed, right? So this is the easiest way to rename, right? So we no need to remember which position of that variable. We just type the variable name and rename the that variable name. So let's say I want to reset again. So df rename df. So this is a reset. I'm going to change it to the small letter case again. So for capital letter to reset, right? Okay. So now remember we already look at the subsetting just now, right? We can do a subsetting empty car. If you want to select a second variable, we just do a bracket 2, right? If you want to select second variable and fifth variable, bracket C, this is a square bracket, C, bracket 2 and 5, right? So there's another way to call to subset the variable in a data set. The first one is by using $sign, right? So we can grab the variable up using $sign operator, right? So let's say df $sign, and you can see the drop down in RStudio, right? Let's say we want to select carb, CARB, carburetor, right? So it will appear that column, that element, right? So if you still remember in my previous lecture in others previous class, right, I have mentioned to you the type of data set in R. First is we are having data frame. Another one is table, right? So let's say we want to see what is the type of data set for df. So if we can just type class So it will appear data frame, right? So if you want to change it to table, we need to first load the library dplyr, right? And let's say I put as table df. So we can measure the class table. So I already convert dataset df to table, right? So what is the difference between data frame and table? Data frame, if you call the dataset in console, it will appear all the dataset, right? So if you call table, it will show you only some only first 10 observation and some variable that fit into your console only, right? So now if we want to subset using selecting variable using data frame and table, right? So I'm going to show you there is a difference when you do a subsetting data. Means you select a variable from a data frame and from table. Let's say I want to select selecting second variable in df, right? Means df is a data frame format, right? Right, still remember df is a data frame format. So let's say I'm selecting df second variable, so it will appear like this, right? So if I want to select the second variable in table, right? So tbl second variable, so it will appear like this. It will not showing you the row names, right? For data frame, it will show you the row names, but in table, they will not showing you the row names, right? So let's say you want to select some specific element. Let's say you want to do like a matrix format. Let's say you want to select second variable using a matrix format. Let's say df, comma, 2. So in data frame, it will show you only the element of the variable, right? If you are using table, right? So it will show you in the same format as previous. So that is the difference between data frame and table, right? Selecting, right? So we already look at how to select a variable using index, which is using a bracket, square bracket. So now I'm going to show you selecting a variable using dplyr package. This is quite convenient, right? So usually I am using a subsetting data using dplyr package. So because this is the most convenient way to subset the data, right? So dplyr package library, dplyr package, right? So to select a variable using a dplyr package, we use select function, right? So let's say I want to select variable mpg and cyl. So just the first argument is your data set. The second argument is your variable that you want to select, right? Just put in the name of the variable, and you can put as many as the variable that you want. Let's say I want to add another one which is gear. So it will select the variable that you want to select. So this is selecting mpg, cyl, and gear, right? Okay. So now let's say I want to use combine function. Let's say C also can be used in select function. Select df. Let's say C, mpg, cyl, and gear is also working lah. Right? We can also use this one. Right? So let's say this is how you select variables, right, in a data set. Let's say you want to select a row. Selecting rows of df. Right, let's say you want to select of data frame. If you want to select the first row and the third row, let's say selecting first and third row. Right. So let's say I'm selecting df. This is by using index. So if you still remember, in matrix form, the first argument is for row. The second argument is for column, right? So I want to select the first and the third column, row, first and third row. Right, this is for first and second and the third row. This is for row argument. The after comma, this is for column argument. Let's say I want to select column number. Let's say I want to select all. So it will appear all the variable and first and the second and the third row only. Right? Let's say you want to select first row, first and third row, and column number 2 and 5. For example, let's say this is df c 1 and third, right? This is for row, and then we want to select column number 2 and column number 5, right? So this is how you do a subsetting data. We want to do select cases, right? So we also can use index to subset the data in a logical operator. So say we want to select a row of df where mpg is more than 20 or mpg less than 14, right? Right. So we want to select row of df where mpg is more than 20 and mpg is less than 20. Remember, mpg is miles per gallon, right? So we can use indexing where df and df mpg more than 20 or df mpg less than 14. Oops. So this is for we want to select all rows that contain mpg more than 20 and mpg less than 20, and we want to select all the variables to be in our select cases, right? So it will appear all the cases, all the variables, and the cases should be more than 20 for mpg and less than 14, right? Let's say you want to select same argument, mpg more than 20 or mpg less than 14, and we want to display a variable cyl and horsepower hp, right? So same argument, df mpg more than 20 or df mpg less than 14. This is for the row, and we want to select CYL and horsepower only. Oops. The CYL we already. We need to put some double quote here. Yep. So this is how you do a select cases, right, for a row and for a column, right? Do you understand? Do you have any question? Any questions so far? But don't worry, I will put this video into YouTube, and later afternoon you boleh tengok the video in YouTube, right? So another package, another way to select variables and row by using dplyr package. Dplyr package, right? So just now we already look at how to select a variable using select function, right? So now if we want to select, let's say we want to select MPG more than 20 or MPG less than 14, right? So by using a dplyr package, we can use a function named as filter, right? So filter is to choose row or cases where conditions are true, unlike base subsetting using bracket, right? So we cannot use bracket anymore. We're not using a square bracket, right? We use a normal bracket. So first we need to specify our data set, which is df, and then we want to select mpg more than 20 or mpg less than 14, right? So it will do a selection for you. This is quite easy compared to the bracket one, right? Let's say we want to select another one. Let's say selecting mpg more than 20 and CYL equal to 4, right? So we use filter df mpg more than 20 and CYL equal to 4, right? So we can use n% or we can use comma to represent mpg. Let's say more than 20, comma, CYL equal to 4. It's the same argument, right? Okay. So this one is just to do a subsetting for rows, right? Say you want to do both, as in indexing, we can do subsetting for rows, and we can do selection variable selection. So we can combine. Remember just now we already looked at how to use select function in dplyr. We can combine select function and filter function together. Let's say we want to select condition and condition row and display selecting a selected column. For example, we want to select MPG more than 20 and CYL equal to 4, and we want to display only CYL and horsepower, right? So we can combine select function and filter function together. Let's say we want to select, we use a select function filter, then and we put the argument for filter df mpg more than 20 and cyl equal to 4. So this is for the second argument is for filtering. Then we need to do a comma here, right? We're already done with the filtering and we want to select cyl and horsepower, right? So we will appear cyl and horsepower for your selecting or subsetting cases, right? Or another way, you can use the long way to do it. We can separate the function together. The function, which is, let's say I store the first argument as a df2, which is filter mpg, df mpg more than 20 and cyl equal to 4. And then we can do a select a function df2 select df2 cyl and horsepower. So if you call df2, it will appear the same thing lah. So this is the longest way to do it. Right, the simple way to do it, we just combine these two functions together, right? So in dplyr, we have another function we call as pipe, right? In dplyr, we have another function we call as pipe. So if you do like this, sometimes it will make you confused which argument should be in where and second argument should be where, right? Because the first argument here should finish here and comma, you put your variable, right? So by using pipe, you can simplify your function and organize your function in proper way. Let's say pipe, they are using percentage more than percentage. This is a sign of pipe in dplyr. This is only apply when you load library dplyr. Right, let's say I call df, right? So I'm using the pipe and then I want to filter mpg more than 20 and mpg and cyl equal to 4, right? Then I using piping, then I do a select cyl horsepower and let's say drag, right? So when I run, it will appear the same thing as we do in the first place, right? So this code is more organized compared to the previous one, right? Are you okay? Any questions so far regarding piping? Any question? Right. So we can move on to the second, the next topic, which is adding a new column to data frame. Right. So if you want to do, if you want to add a new column, which is or you want to add a new variables into a data frame, right? Using base package, right? So we can do by using this one. Let's say I want to add new variable into df by $sign operator, right? So let's say I want to add new variable new var, right? Just add, we're using $sign, right? So let's say the new variable should be, let's say what variable you have in data df. We have wt. Wt is, what is wt? Wt is weight in 1,000 pounds. So let's say we want to create a new variable represent Wt divided by 2.2, which is in kilos, right? Wt divided by 2.2, right? So just like that, right? If you call the variable names of df, so you already define a new variable at the end of the data set, right? So let's say we want to see that variable already in the data set. Very simple, by using a $sign to add a new variables, right? Okay, another way, right? Another way to add new variable, right? By using, let's say, cbind. By using cbind. So cbind, let's say I letak df equal to cbind, and then this is, I letak, tak nak store, tak nak store, I just letak cbind saja. Cbind df new variable 2 equal to df weight divided by 2.2, right? So they akan add a new variable at the end of the data set. This is another way. The first way, the second way, and then we want to look at the how to adding a new variable using a dplyr package library. Adding new variable using dplyr package. Right, so we need to load library dplyr. Basically, we don't need to call the library dplyr many times, right? Because you already called one time, just enough, right? I just want to show you what is the function, where is the function that we want to use is originate, right? So we use mutate function to add a new variable. Let's say we put as df mutate, right? So df new column equal to wt over 2.2. So in mutate function, it will create a new variable for a data set df, and we specify a new variable as a new column, right? And the argument is we take the value from weight divide by 2.2 to represent in kilos, right? So if you call df, so you can see a new column already there. Right. So we already know how to add a new variables. Let's see how to remove the variables, right? Or deleting. Right. We want to remove or delete the variable from a data set, right? So there are several ways to do that, right? So first way, by using dplyr function, a dplyr package, which is select, right? So let's say we want to remove a new column from a df dataset. So df negative new column, right? So we already remove the new column variables, right? So this is using dplyr package, right? So another way is by using a base package using a $sign, right? Using base package using $sign, right? So let's say df new column set to null, just like that. So let's say we find df, there are no new column anymore in the data set, right? So let's say sometimes we want to remove more than one variable simultaneously. Let's say this is what we do for single variable at a time. Right? If you want to remove multiple variable, we can use select function, right? So we call the df. We want to remove the variable in dataset df, and we want to remove, let's say, new variable, and let's say I want to remove dread. This one, two variable I want to remove at a time. So I can use -1 off. Let's say the first one is new variable, the second one is dread, right? So if you can see, the dread variable and new variable already removed, right? Now we move to the next topic, which is ordering column to a data frame. So let's say in a data frame df, right? Names df. So we have a new variable, right? Still have new variable because we are in this stage we are not storing that argument argument in the df. So we can do order column in the data frame, right? By cn. Let's say I just put column name, all the column name in cn, right? All names df. So this is, I just want to collect the variable name. Right. So let's say I call df by using I think this one is quite tedious way to do it. Let's say we use straight away use library dplyr using select cases. Select a select function, select df. Let's say I want to put new variable in the first place, new variable, and then followed by everything. This is very simple, right? So if you can see the new variable in the first position and followed by others variable. This is very simple. Just do the, this argument. Using this function should be easier to order the variable. Right. Let's say this is very simple. Right. Let's say we want to sort the variable. Let's say right, to sort the variable. Let's say we want to sort the variable in ascending order. Let's say we want to sort MPG in ascending order, right? So df, we use function order, and we call the variable MPG, right? So this is for row, so we want to call all the variables, right? So it will sort the variable MPG from small to largest, right? So let's say we want to sort in descending order, sort MPG in descending order, right? So we can use the function df, we call use indexing function df order, same argument df mpg, and we call comma followed by comma inside the function df decreasing equal to true, and comma we call all the variables inside, right? So it will sort the variable mpg from the largest value to the smallest value, right? So this is by using base package, using indexing function method, right? If you want to use dplyr function using sort using dplyr package, right? So we can use arrange function. Let's say we want to arrange the variable, the data set df for mpg, means that we want to sort mpg in ascending order. Sorry, arrange. Miss one. Right. Sama juga macam tadi, we sort the variable in ascending order by using indexing method, and for if you are using dplyr package, we just use arrange function to sort variable mpg in ascending order, right? So if you want to sort mpg in descending order, right? So we use arrange function again, arrange function df mpg, and we put descending mpg, right? Oops. No, no need to specify mpg here. Descending, you just put the argument descending before the variable mpg, right? So it will sort from the largest value to the smallest value. Right? This is by using dplyr package, right? So let's say we want to sort two variables together. Let's say we want to sort mpg and horsepower. Horsepower is numerical, but in for the horsepower we want to sort in descending order. So DESC horsepower, right? So arrange DF MPG, which is ascending order, and horsepower is descending order, right? So if you can see, MPG is ascending order, but for horsepower is descending order. Right, this is how we do a sorting for using dplyr package, right? Right. Just now we already look at mutate function, which is creating a new variables, right? But in mutate function, we are selecting all variable after you create a new variable, right? If you still remember, if you do a mutate here, right? So they will create a new variable, new column, right? But it will also appear all the variables inside the data set that you have created a new variable. Right, let's say most of the time you may want to create a new variable and then we want to keep only certain variables inside a new variable. Right? For example, let's say I want to create a new column which is weight divided by 2.2 and show only MPG variable, horsepower and new column. Right? Only 3 variable. So instead of using mutate, right? So I can use transmute, right? So we can create new column and keep right. Can use transmute df, which is the variable data set that we want to find and we want to manipulate. So let's say we want to create new 2 equal to wt divided by 2.2 and I want to keep mpg and horsepower only. So it will show new variable and keep only mpg and horsepower only. Instead of bring all the variables into the data set, we only show 3 variable in this operation. Okay, so maybe now you cannot see the significance. Later we will try to do an exploratory of the real data set from a data.gov.my. Then you will use all these arguments to clean and subset the data, right? So another way to edit the data, let's say we want to change some data, right? So either we can use indexing method, or let's say if you want to use indexing method, let's say editing data. Let's say we want to change variable number 2, column number column number 2, row number 2. Let's say this is 2, right? So it will appear, for this one, let's say I put this one as df2, right? I just want to manipulate this one. So this one should be 21, right? Column number 2, variable number 2 and row number 2, right? So I want to change it to 22, right? So if I call df2, so you can see this column number 2 and row number 2 already changed, right? So the cons of this method is you need to do it one by one, right? So if you want to change more element or more many observation, so you cannot do simultaneously. You need to do one by one, right? So now I'm going to show you another way, which is quite simple, right? By using library. So this one I need to put some notes. Let's say we want to choose. So another way, by using library edit data, right? So if you don't have library edit data, you need to install it first. Install package, edit data, right? So you need to install first, right? Since I already installed in my RStudio, I don't need to install anymore. So edit data is very straightforward, and it has a guided user interface to edit the data. Right. So let's say I want to edit data 1. Let's say put as edited df2. I want to edit df2. Let's say edit data df2. Right. So we appear the user interface. Right. You can straight away edit the data. Right. Say I want to edit the first row from mpg 21 to I want to edit, this is row number 2, right? mpg from 22 to 21, right? And click update and then close. You already update and then done. So if you look at the data is already update, but you need to, of course, you need to store this one to df again, right? If you're not storing the this operation to df, it will not store your last operation to df2, right? So this is very simple and easiest way to edit the data or delete, right? Compared to indexing. Okay. So far, are you okay? Any questions so far? Any question? Right. So can we move on to the next topic? I just want to finish up some of the subsetting data. So just now we already look at how to subset numerical data, right? So now I want to show you how to subset a categorical data. Subsetting categorical data. So to subset categorical data, let's say let we use a data set from my website, right? You just need to go to, you can see my website here. You go to my website, go to data intro R and download the data. And then I want you to find folder subsetting data, right? So this is, let's say I want to find, so you need to find subsetting data, folder number 3, right? And go to data, right? Set as your working directory. So you can see under folder subsetting data, I have a file named charm city circulator ridership, right? So this is, I want to show you how to subset categorical data, right? So now we need to call library data table, right? This is, I'm going to use I'm not going to use a data table, just data1 read.csv, and then I want to call for the data set, which is charm city circulator ridership.csv, right? And load it into R environment. In data1, I have basically 1,146 observation and 15 variables, right? Let's look at the sum of the data. Let's see, this is dimension. Let's say we want to see sum of the data by using head data1. Right. So in Charm City Circulator ridership. I have 15 variables. In the first 6 observation, you can see there are a lot of missing variables, missing data, starting from variable purple boarding until banner average, right? And we have orange average and daily. This is a data contain and many missing value. Let's say we look at the last 6 observation. Data 1, for the last 6 observation, actually the purple boarding until banner average have contain a data, right? But from this one, we know that there is a missing data for this variable, right? For now, we know that there is a missing data for this variable. So let's say we want to see summary, to see the summary of the data set. So we just use summary function data, the one. So it will show us the summary of the data set, which is the first quarter, median, mean, third quarter, maximum value, and number of missing value. So for the first variable, the orange boarding, we have 67 missing value. And the most missing value are in banner boarding, which is 876 missing value, right? And banner A lighting, banner average also have most missing value, right? So let's say we want to select in this data set, we want to select daily more than 1000 to be high and daily less than 1000 to be low, right? So daily is in daily variable, which is the last variable here, also contain a missing value, right? But we want to select and we want to record from continuous data. This daily is a continuous data. Let's say we look at head data 1, which is variable number 15, right? So daily is a numerical data. Let's say we can see str data 1, 15, sorry. So it's a numerical data, right? So we have 1,148 observation, right? And then in this operation, we want to make a daily from a numerical data to a categorical data, right? We want to record daily more than 1000 as high, daily less than 1000 as low. So let's say we put as high rider, right? High rider. If else is a function, the first argument more than 1000 is high, other than that code as low, right? So high rider, let's say data 1, right? So data 1 daily, right? So sorry, more than 1000. I think more 1000 is because we can see first quarter is 4,293 kan. So if you put 1,000, maybe it will not be a good variable. So you can put as more than 10,000. More than 10,000 as high, and others than that else should be low. Right. So if you can see high rider, so it will show you how it codes from low to high for all variables, for all observation basically. So now you can see the factor, the class of high rider. High rider is we already record the variables. More than 10,000 is high, less than 10,000 is low. So now R reading high rider as a character, right? So now to make high rider as factor, right? So we just put it as a factor, high rider factor, high rider levels equal to C. The first one is low, the second one is high, right? So now if you can see the class of high rider, it should be factor class already, right? So if you want to see the levels of high rider, it should be low and high. So if you want to know how many observation are in high and how many observation in low, we can use a function called as table high rider. So it will show us 740 observation are low and 282 observation are high. So this is how we convert from a numerical variable to a categorical variable, right? And then we can put all of our operation here to the data set. Let's say to put the right, we just need to create a new variable, data1 high rider should be equal to high rider, right? So if you call head data1, oops, right, now it will show you high rider variable, right? So less than 1,000 should be less than 10,000 should be low, right? Okay, this is the hardest way to do, right? By using base package. So the simplest way to do by using dplyr package. So we can use dplyr package to do all the operation previously and include into the dataset only in a single code, right? So by using library dplyr, right? So we can put a data2, right? And we call data1 using a piping, right? And we want to mutate. We want to create a new variable, right? As a high rider, right? Equal to if else, if daily more than 10,000, right? We code as high, and else is equal to low. And we put some piping again, right? So let's say I bawa ke sini sikit. Senang dia nampak. Right. So we want to select everything and according to, and then put high rider as well. So if you call data 2, so it will show you the same things. But the difference between the previous work and the current work is using dplyr package, you just solve this operation in a single code. Right? Any questions so far? Any question? Do you have any question? Right. So we have another 20 minutes, right? So let's try. Since we already created a new variable, new categorical variable from a daily, right? Which is low and high and low. Let's try to recode. Let's try to recode daily, which is if daily less than 10,000, we code it as high, low, right? If daily more than 20,000, we code it as high. If daily range between 10,001 to 1999, we code it as medium. Right? Okay, let's say we put it as a rider levels. Right. So data 1, we just do a piping, and then we do a mutate, a high rider. This is a new variable. Right. If else daily less than 10,000, right? We put it as low, right? If else daily more than 20,000, we put as high, and others we just put it as medium. Right. You don't need to have the bracket here. We should have the bracket over here. Right. Okay. So class rider levels, high level, high rider should be a character. Now I want to change it to factor. Rider levels, high rider should be factor. rider levels, high rider. The level should be starting from low, medium, and high. Right. And then if you table the variable rider level, high rider, you should get 3 levels already, right? 740 for low, 280 for medium, and 2 for high. Right. This is how we do recording for using a dplyr package. Right. Very simple, just one code to solve everything. So let's say we create a new, it's still under recording. Let's say I'm showing you, let's say we have a data set, that a very dirty data set. Let's say I create a new variable, gender should be equal to repeat f times equal to 75, and then repeat female times equal to 82, right? Repeat, let's say fm times equal to 89, repeat male times equal to 100, repeat ml equal times equal to, let's say 89. This is times. So let's say in a real data set, right? Suppose the data set should not be very clean, right? So most of the time you can see, if you have a gender, normally they will put F female, FM as female, male ML, MALE capital letter, M only as for female, for male. So now let's say I make this one as a factor, right? So if you can see levels for gender, now we have many levels: F female, FM male, ML. So now what I want to do is I want to group F female and FM as female, and I want to regroup male and ML as male, right? So now what I need to do is I need to recode male and female. Recode male and female. So this is this is a tedious work to do, right? And this is the most realistic work to do, right? So let's say I put it as a data 2, right? So I combine it to the data 1. So sorry, this is I just want to create data 1 as data frame gender, right? So data 1, just mutate gender category, right? If else gender in C, which is ML male, sorry, male. So this one S1. Another one is this is I want to code as male, female, right? And else should be female. This is very simple, right? Can you see? Right. So here I want to record, I want to group ML and male to male. Other than that, F female, FM as female, right? So if you can see data 2, data 2, 10 to 20. Oops. Right. So they already record F to female. And they already record, let's say kita tengok how many data we have in data 2? 400, right? So let's say data 2, 400 to 410, right? ML to male. Okay, I think we should stop here and we will continue later, right? So at this stage, you already have you should already understand how to select a specific element in a data set, rename a column, and subset row and column, add and remove, and do order column and order rows. We also learn extra, which is how to do a filter using dplyr method, and we already know how to use piping in dplyr method, right? And you also know how to recode the numerical variable to categorical variable, right? All right. Before we end, do you have any questions so far? Any question? If you don't have question, then we should stop here. So see you on the next class, which is on Wednesday, right? All right. Okay. So then we end here. So Assalamualaikum.